welcome back to another episode of Teatails.
We are bringing you today's Teatails for tomorrow's use,
Yes,
and technically, I mean, you can use it whenever you want
That's
to.
true.
Doesn't even have to use tomorrow.
That's true.
We have a lot to talk about, but we're actually going to be talking about mostly or only United States news, national news, because
Politics,
so much happened,
too,
you know.
to be exact.
Yeah,
mostly
so
politics.
much happened
Mhm.
at home, so, you know. We'll hold off. We'll hold off on the national, on the
Yeah, we
international news
condensed
for
a
little
lot
while.
of our stories this week because, as you guys know, there were the midterm elections this past week. That by itself could have been an entire Details episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna just try and keep everything to a minimum. So we picked our
Yeah.
favorite stories, the things we thought were the most important that we'll be talking about for iced tea and hot tea, as we always know, is always just the treat. It's just the treat all the time, all the time.
So we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about the elections because I think that was one of the biggest things that happened this week. As you guys know, it took place on November 6th, Tuesday. We do hope you all voted and
I was just gonna
participated.
say, if you didn't vote, I just need you to pause this video right now, open another tab,
Take a moment of reflection.
and go and vote. Because why?
At least be registered, okay? And don't be
That's
like
true.
me. I registered super late and it caused a lot of problems at the polling booth.
Yeah.
Don't be like
Just
that.
register now, get it over with, so that
So
you can
you'll
vote
be
next
registered,
election.
yeah, for forever.
But yeah, like Natalia was saying, this election was something. It was very dramatic.
Yeah,
I
so
feel
much
like
drama.
a lot of people, since the last elections, obviously the presidential elections, the last big elections, people have been really prioritizing getting the word out on the importance of voting.
Right.
And we had celebrities that were talking about politics like never before. I know a few weeks ago we reported on people such as Taylor Swift, who was out here saying things that they usually don't, talk about as on their platform. So it was a big deal. There were a lot of wins, good wins. I think that it is the highest percentage of women in Congress. Yes. Well, first of all, we know that the Republicans are still going to be in control of the House, and the Democrats won opposite. Republicans are in charge of the Senate. I always mix it up in my head because I worked for the Senate, but technically the Senate is the House. I always confuse it. So the Democrats have taken over the House, first time in like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are still in control of the Senate, which is, okay, we're making
progress.
Yeah, progress. Now they're gonna literally have to work together because you have both sides of the aisle that are in control in some capacity. So that's gonna take a lot of teamwork to get some moves made.
And people are saying that it's also gonna kind of maybe put Trump's aspirations in check. He says a lot, and by him having the House and the Senate in his favor, it was a lot easier for him to at least try and pass these things and make as many changes as he wants to. But now that the Democrats have the House, it's going to be a little bit of like a hold your horses. We're going to do some checking on that. Make sure you're allowed to.
Exactly, and it's gonna force him and his team to make sure that they are kind of dotting all their I's, crossing all their T's to make sure that things can get passed quickly. So, like we were saying, Congress is the first time that as many women have been having seats ever. I can't remember the exact number or the exact percentage. We'll leave it right
20%,
here. Yeah, around 20%, which is the highest it's ever been. One of the biggest races was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez over in New York City and Queens. She won. She's the youngest congresswoman ever elected. So she's 29 years old. There was another 29-year-old that won. First Muslim person to be
there were 2 Muslim
elected into the Congress. LGBTQ
highest number. Honestly, it's the highest number across the board. Diversity wise, we've had the record-breaking numbers in any category you can think of. Smashed. So although it may not have been what the Democrats wanted per se in terms of how many Democrats were elected, we have hit a record number for everything so far, which is great to see.
For sure.
All across the board, just to see that people of all different backgrounds are being represented. There is in Georgia a recounting or I think a revoting. I'm not sure which one they're going to end up doing, but yeah, they have to do that again. And I believe that Donald Trump did weigh in and say, you need to do this. This needs to get done again. So definitely next week we'll have some more news as pertaining to who wins.
Exactly. It's fine.
So speaking of Trump, it's always something. And we have some interesting things that he said and he wants to do. So first off, birthright citizenship. He wants to nix that.
Yeah.
So as you may or may not know, birthright citizenship is basically the ideal that you are born in this country and you are allowed to be a citizen. Yeah, you're automatically a citizen just because you're born here, regardless of whether your parents are here illegally or not. So what he's saying is if your parents are illegally in the country, you are no longer allowed to have birthright citizenship. And we'll see if he's allowed to do that. He's saying that he can. We'll find out. We'll find out shortly if that will change.
Yes. But kind of to not back it up, but an interesting point that I learned after all this drama is that the United States is one of not that many countries who does have automatic birthright citizenship. A lot of countries, it's not that easy to kind of just have citizenship right when you're born. Like you have to live there for a few years. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. You have to live there for a few years. You have to go to school there for a few years before you are considered a citizen. So it is a little odd because it's America. Like literally the basis of our country was on freedom and, you know, having their rights and being a citizen. Acceptance, right? We accept all people. But, you know, it's another time, people. It's a new time. It's a new day. DACA,
So,
on the plus side, they did legalize DACA. So DACA is a program for students who want to come and study here in America. They were protected under the Obama administration under a program called DACA, where they could come here, study, and not be penalized for being undocumented immigrants. And there was a lot of drama when Trump was first elected that this program was going to be cut and that those students were going to have to go back to their countries. And the drama was that a lot of those students had been living here from a very young age. So to go back to their country where they did not speak the language, right, it maybe was a little bit more dangerous. They didn't have any family there anymore. It was just ridiculous. So it really is encouraging to see that the DACA program has been confirmed to stay.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff Sessions, you're probably very familiar with that name.
Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
Guess what? He resigned. And the reason why he resigned is in quotes because he was asked by Donald Trump to resign. So the technical term is that he did resign, but he did also make it very well known in his resignation letter that it was not his choice. He did not want to do this, and he was asked to leave. Right. So we have some even more sad news, which you may have heard. It's kind of a national crisis at this point. California is being hit with such, and I mean, it happens every year. It happens often, more than once a year. But the fires have just become out of control. Over 35,000 acres have been affected by the fires, and it's affecting everyone. Obviously, nature doesn't care who you are or what house you live in, but from people all over, their houses are destroyed, like burned to the ground. You only see metal standing in some of these photos, and it's super sad. These people, and also too, what's crazy is I have family over in California, and some of them are taking screenshots of the weather, and it literally says smoke.
Wow.
That's crazy,
so
or that's crazy?
Yeah, that's
smoke.
crazy.
Smoke is what they have reported for the weather. So we hope that something is able to happen, but this also kind of ties in to the earth and the weather and the universe, because a lot of this is becoming, it stems from drier weather issues. They don't have much rain over there. Rain is kind of an anomaly out in California. So the wind and the dry weather is what causes these fires to even start, the combustion to start altogether. So that kind of plays into how we are treating the environment. So pay attention to that. Even if you're not in California, pay attention.
Every
Miami's not gonna be around for much longer. Well, dang, it's going under. I'm just saying, we gotta speak this truth, because
it's true. Way to educate the people.
Recycle.
Do what you gotta do. No more pollution.
Recycle. Okay.
Help us out.
Okay.
Get a Tesla. All right. That is a really sad story, but transitioning over to another sad story, speaking of California, Thousand Oaks in California was just hit with a really bad shooting. You guys may have heard of it. I think a little over 12 people were killed in that accident. A lot of young people, and I know one person that's been very vocal about it specifically is Tamara Mowry Housley, who is married to Adam Housley, a retired baseball player, but their niece actually died in that shooting.
Yeah.
So this, along with the fires, like you were saying, is becoming very regular to hear that different shootings are happening across the nation. And it's really, really sad. So our prayers and our thoughts are out with the people in California, and we're praying for the victims and their families.
Well, that's all the iced tea we have for you today, and we have some hot tea, as always, you know. Just a little bit, you gotta stay, you gotta just warm up just a little bit before you head outside. You know?
Oh, because it's brick outside though, because you really do need some hot tea. Can we talk about the weather for a second though?
You know what, we can, because, hold on a second. You know how I was just talking about the weather and like the universe and stuff? So tell me how November, we have 60-degree weather, and then the following day, we have icicles outside when it's
snow.
raining.
It was snowing yesterday.
Yesterday was snowing, but tell me how the day of voting at the polls, I was in a light jacket.
Hot outside. Right. I was so confused. It's literally like that meme. I'm gonna put it right here. The meme that's like checking for the weather outside to see like what weather we're doing today.
You really have to go stick your hand outside and see for yourself, because who knows?
It's a new weather every day. It's brick outside, but yes. Jumping right into hot tea. We have a lot of hot tea for you that we also have condensed because there's always something to talk about in the pop culture world. But
positive news.
Yes,
Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, congrats on your child.
Their baby girl. They had a baby girl via surrogate this past week, which they kept under wraps like nobody's business. I remember getting the notification being like, where were they pregnant? But it was via surrogate.
Yeah, it was very dumb. I
Congratulations to them.
screenshotted the post. I texted it to the chat. I was like, I had no idea she wasn't even pregnant. And then I read the post even. This is why you read. I read the post even further and it said surrogate. And I was like, oh, it all makes sense.
Okay, all right. But Gabby Union actually has been very vocal about how she has not been able to conceive. A lot of like older, I guess, or middle-aged, I guess. Is she considered middle-aged?
I don't even
She's
know.
like in her 40s.
Yeah.
They, especially in Hollywood, have been struggling to conceive. So people like her, people like, I think, Adrienne Bailon, Tyra Banks, Chrissy Teigen, they've been very vocal about the difficulties of conceiving. So congratulations to them. I know they've been looking to have, to start a family for a long time. Or to start a family of their own between the two of them. They do have sons already, so. Biological children. Alrighty then. So I didn't know how to fix that. Thank you next. Literally. Thank you next. Okay. Ariana Grande recently released that song this past week. This girl is a super genius. First of all, I just want to talk about her glow up because this girl started as like a little kid artist. I've always loved her. I thought she had an amazing voice. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I thought,
I
always liked her voice. Yes, that's the best way to say it.
Exactly.
Yes, she was very.
I always thought she was really talented. She had her rough patches on her way to the top, but I feel like she's here. She's made it. She broke a lot of records on Apple Music and Spotify with the Thank You Next song. Yeah. She's a genius because she literally made a song about all of her exes, used their names and everything, but she made it into a positive light. And the bottom line of that song is basically how she's thanking all of her exes for everything that they've taught her. One time we love, one time. Have you guys seen those memes?
The memes. It's great. The internet's great.
Yeah. I love the internet. Okay. But she's thanking them for everything that they've taught her, and then she's saying that she's moved on to a new love, which is herself, and she's falling in love with herself and teaching herself new things. And so I was really encouraged by that message. I do think that the song is not that poppin'. Sorry.
We're an unbiased platform.
Right, we are an unbiased platform. I do think that the song seems to be popping to other people, but I feel like she has better music out there, so it's just...
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a nice song.
It's a good song. Her last album was fire, but I think the real drama is for the fact that literally her and Pete like just broke up. They just broke up. He was about to go on SNL, and literally minutes before he was about to go on SNL, she dropped this song. So it was like, what was he gonna say before this song was dropped? You know what I'm saying? She's just a genius. She's a genius for making that move. Broke a lot of records. Go for you, girl.
So we're gonna end on a funny story, which you may or may not have heard about.
Yeah.
So there was a young African-American female who went on the internet and basically made up a whole lie. Shorty lied. She basically said that she was a Trump supporter, a MAGA supporter, and because of this, she was getting kicked out of her house. Her parents were no longer going to fund her schooling, and some sort of money donation account where people could donate to her cause. And
which was the struggle of being an African American conservative, right, in America.
Right. Point. Now, a lot of Republicans and Trump supporters expressed their sympathies and also shelled out their money. And a little while after she had collected, she came out and said, y'all were bugging if you ever thought I was going to support this man. She called some names. She said some things. And a lot of people are very upset. And I think she will eventually get sued. I know some people were definitely saying you'll be hearing from my lawyers, you know. I don't know. Because I guess
it's fraud.
Technically it's fraud.
Yeah. It's fraud. It's not even technical. It's fraud. But I mean, if you donated to the cause, right? You donated to the GoFundMe. We donate to things all the time. I donate to the Red Cross, and apparently
they're a whole fraud.
Actually, I don't think it's the Red Cross. I think it's the Red Cross. Is it? Yeah. I donate to the Red Cross all the time, and they out here not even giving 30% for the right reasons.
It was 1 cent to $1.
Come on,
fraud.
Come on.
So I guess technically, I guess it was fraud. So we'll update you on that story and see where it goes. I thought it was hilarious.
So anyways,
we said we were going to end, but we actually have one more story.
Yes, the Victoria's Secret fashion show, was filmed. Okay. The Victoria's Secret fashion show was filmed this week. And a lot of news came from that. For example, Adriana Lima, who has been a Victoria's Secret angel for I think 20 years, is retiring. She's hanging up her angel wings.
Crazy.
And this was her last show. A lot of people came out, showed out for this show. They had a lot of performances. I think it's the most performances they've ever had or something like that.
Wow.
The most celebrity performances, something like that, on the show. Shawn Mendes performed. Winnie Harlow was the first model with vitiligo to perform or to walk on the runway. So it was really exciting. I know Ducky, I think that was her first Victoria's Secret fashion show. Bella Hadid, we were talking about. Yeah. She is a star. I love her. I think she's really pretty. We were saying that she looks a little thinner than she usually
normally does.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just we don't really see her that much, but she looks a little different.
Yeah, she does. Different. Yeah. We just hope that all is well.
Yeah, we hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Her and The Weeknd are back together, so I guess everything's okay.
And she killed it at the show.
She killed it.
From the pictures that we saw. It hasn't been released yet, but yeah.
Would you be a Victoria's Secret model?
Girl.
You would?
Call me.
I would swing.
Call me. I would do it. I would do it.
But I would mostly want to do like the costumes. Like I don't know about wearing no bra and panties. Like I mean, it depends.
That's what you have to wear.
It depends on how much. No, sometimes they wear like pajamas.
That's
don't
pink. That's the pink section. So you
no, but one time I was watching the Victoria's Secret and it was one girl wearing a firefighter outfit. I would wear that.
Pink.
No, Victoria's Secret show. She was wearing a firefighter outfit.
Pink is in the Victoria's Secret show.
It's so I would do pink.
Okay.
Victoria's Secret, reach out to Teatails for coverage of your next event, huh?
We'll be there.
Well, I'll wear the wings for you. Okay.
Good night, guys.
It was such a nice time with you guys. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram @ Teatails_ and email us at talented@gmail.com.
We love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Wait, can I